the strength deep inside. Shane and Melissa takes us on this ride from suffering to a life so free. Her healing touch should set you free.
Hey, how are you guys doing today? What if the one question you haven't asked could change everything? Your doctors may have answered some of your questions, but what if you didn't ask the right question? What if the question you've been meaning to ask all along was never asked? If you could ask a nurse practitioner like myself just one question, what would it be? Today's your opportunity. Let's do it. Tonight or today, I'm answering your questions live right here. I am Shana Melissa Stockman, the autoimmune expert, 30 plus year RN and nationally board certified NP, who empowers fellow autoimmuners and medical mysteries to get and feel better even when the doctors and meds didn't, wouldn't, or couldn't. I offer in person and online classes, courses, workshops, and private consultations. Let's dive right in. Drop your questions right here, and I'm going to answer them live. I'm also going to answer live some of the questions I've been asked the past few days and go over hot topics, what's new, and more. Now, I always love spreading the good news. But before I do, have you guys heard about the avocado chips? There's a lot of fake foods out there that are not good, right? So I thought recently I was buying the potato chips in the avocado oil. However, interesting fun fact, 93% of the chips that were tested in this study had cheap substitutes for avocado oil. So they were selling them as healthier avocado oil, marking it up dramatically. However, the substitutes were soybean oil, canola oil, and safflower. So there you are paying more money to eat healthier to find out you've been duped. All right, let's get going into some good news that had just occurred. Now, I don't like getting political on here, so let's keep it friendly, and I don't have my props to watch my words. But this past week, good old leader Don helped us go from 72 mandated jabs plus for a child down from just 11 diseases that are mandated. Okay. That does not mean your children can't get the other ones. That just means they're not federally mandated. Everything does vary state to state, but that is great. The things I've been saying for decades, only now are others making it more common and known. I first became a nurse and a nurse practitioner 30 plus years ago. And back then, when I started diagnosing patients, now I'm a pediatric and an adult nurse practitioner. I'm licensed both. Now, 30 plus years ago, when I started giving those mandates to the babies, I was insisting that the parents schedule them all separately and not together. And the reason's simple. Well, a few reasons. One, if they get an interaction or a side effect, you're not going to know which one it is, and you're never going to want to give any of those five to your child ever again, was one of the main reasons. But now we're finding too much toxins at one time is no good, especially while the child's still developing. So things I've been saying for 30 plus years are only becoming mainstream today. So watch what I'm saying today to find out what others are going to say in 30 years from now. So in the 90s, I started spacing out all of the mandates for the babies and having the parents come back at least several weeks later for separate ones, space them out at least several weeks apart. Now, these 72 plus mandated jabs went to being mandated for 18 diseases to 11 diseases. And they are going to still vary state by state. The most important ones that are left off the mandate, but you can still get them if you want your child to have them or they're high risk, is Hep A, Hep B, flu, COVID, rotavirus, meningococcal, and RSV. So those 7, again, are not going to be mandated, but you can still get them if your child is at high risk. Let me go through them again. So the ones that were mandated that are not anymore: Hep A, Hep B, flu, COVID, rotavirus, meningococcal, and RSV. Now, it is totally justified. Let me give you an example. I've been a licensed healthcare pro for over 30 years. You know how many hepatitis B patients I've seen in my lifetime? Working in all different areas, all different cities, all different specialties. I could probably count them on one hand, okay? So I'm glad that's not mandated. Certain ones like that, I mean, Hep A, you get it from flu, you recover. Hep B is so not common, but also it's spread direct blood to blood. So why? And I've been saying this for years. You guys can look back at my reels from years ago. Hep B, for instance, is called blood to blood contact. So if that baby is not shooting up IV drugs and having unprotected sex, there is no need to give a newborn that mandate before they even have an immune system, before they're even discharged from the hospital. So I don't want to say too much more about this because I might not be here anymore on this forum. So again, if you're high risk or you still want your babies to have them, they're not mandated, but you can get them. Hep A, B, flu, COVID, roto, meningo, RSV. Um, and I'm very happy about this because a lot of people with Hep A recover. Hep B is not that common. You always, always, always have to weigh the risk versus the benefit for your child and your family. Know all the risks, all the benefits, and all the alternative healthier options that are out there. Um, and also, they're going to space out the MMR. MMR is 3-in-1: measles, mumps, rubella. And now there was MMR varicella, MMRV. And then that baby was getting that one that contained measles, mumps, rubella, varicella. And then they might have been given a DTaP at the same time, which is diphtheria, pertussis, and tetanus. So they were getting like seven in two shots, two jabs. So now they're recommending going back to separating the measles, mumps, and rubella into three separate appointments, three separate jabs. Um, Also, what's saddening is in certain states, it is mandated that boys in middle school get the HPV protection. Now, HPV is predominantly through sexual intercourse spread, right? Now, so why is the school overstepping boundaries in certain states and mandating that a boy who is less likely to get a cancer down there from an STD, mandated in middle school to get the HPV jab? So not all states do that, but certain states mandate the HPV protection for boys in middle school. Now, I can understand if a disease is caught through respiratory droplets or sneezing or coughing, but a disease that's predominantly spread through sexual intercourse should not be mandated and in middle school when the risk far outweighs the benefits, in my opinion, in most cases. Now let's talk other hot topics. We had the menin, Mangione trial, right? The guy that bang, the CEO of United Health. Now, how do you guys feel about that, right? Now, he's being brought up for murder charges, but other people are recognizing him as a hero. Is murder ever justified if someone murdered or raped a family member of yours? Is that murder justified? So I'd like to know from you if an murder is ever justified. If the person that murdered or raped your treasured loved one, is their murder justified? What other hot topics we have? Oh, I'm going to go into some FAQs that I've been given just the past few days because these might be questions that you too have. And I hope another plane doesn't pass by because I figured I'd bring you guys out to Mother Nature, getting in my sunshine. Vitamin D is so important. Low vitamin D. See, there's a difference between low and optimized levels. The reason I'm talking about this because the sunshine exposure helps us convert and, in essence, make our own vitamin D. Now, the labs might tell you this tiny, you only need this much, but that's not really true. To optimize your level, you need this much often, okay? Now, with vitamin D, the problem is this: You guys are going out in the sun, you're afraid of skin cancer, right? So you put on sunblock. What is that doing? The sunblock is preventing you from converting vitamin D. So that's why more people are depressed even longer. Their vitamin D level is low or is considered normal according to the lab results, but it is not optimized. And then you think you're getting sun to get vitamin D, but you're putting sunscreen over your entire body, which is not letting your body really convert that vitamin D. And then also with sunscreen, a lot of it has chemicals in it called parabens, which are linked to cancer. So some of you put sunscreen all over your body to try to reduce your risk of skin cancer. But what you just did is slather a chemical all over your body and things called parabens that are linked to cancer. So please, I'm not saying don't use sunscreen, but try to get them paraben free. It actually has to say paraben free on it because they hide it in the ingredients and call it literally at least 25 other different chemical names. Okay, now let's go over some FAQs I've gotten just the past few days. And there was one day in particular, I went out a couple days ago, and I was just trying to relax, kill a few birds with one stone, get some seafood out on the water while I'm getting my vitamin D, dancing to some live music, killing a few birds with one stone. And I got bombarded with some questions from people there. And let me go over some of them. Well, this past week, two more of my new clients reached out to me for their children and even their adult children. So I did take two of those on. So you can reach out to me for to take care of your children or your adult children. Yes, I do that. I am licensed as an adult and a pediatric nurse practitioner. I have both licenses for that. Then also another one reached out to me. Oh, my daughter has depression, this, that, the other thing. You know, she's not really into following a strict gluten-free diet. Can you help her? Absolutely. I have been diagnosing and treating pediatric patients for well over 30 years. I've been diagnosing and treating celiac disorder for well over 30 years and gluten intolerances. It's important that, unlike doctors that give an order, you do this, you do that, I try to give calls to action to my patients that will fit in with their existing lifestyle. You know, if there's a child that wants to go out and be a child and eat out all the time with her friends, gluten-free diet may not be what she needs, especially if she's not celiac. So I will meet them where they're at. I don't give a doctor's order. I will sit down with them, and if they're a minor, their parents as well, and come up with a unique, personalized, individualized game plan for their unique needs. In her case, without having celiac, it is not mandated she does a strict gluten-free diet when she's young and wants to go out with her friends and snack and eat fast food and whatnot. So yes, I can treat children. Yes, I can work with them with the guidelines, you know, within their parameters. Another question I got is, hey, I have lupus. I'm going to the rheumatologist on Thursday. Should I go? Shouldn't I go? What should I do? What question should I ask? Great question. I'm never going to tell a stranger, don't go to your doctor, okay? I'm never going to do that. Can I say beyond a shadow of a doubt, 99% of the time, I'm going to make recommendations that help you more than a typical rheumatologist? Yes. I'm not going to tell a stranger not to go to your doctor. I'm going to say, hey, you know what? Go to your doctor. You also want testing for other autoimmune disorders because 99% of my autoimmune warriors that come to me, they don't just have one. If you have an autoimmune disorder, you probably have 2, 3, or even 4. So I would tell that person, bring a pen and paper, bring a witness so you get a little more time, write down your questions, write down your answers, ask to be checked for other autoimmune disorders, and ask to be checked for inflammatory markers. 4 main inflammatory markers I check for. Because then when you come to me, when they don't get you better, or you don't like their recommendation, and you come to me, I have all of that information already. I have your testing for some other autoimmunes, your deficits, your inflammatory markers. And then when we decide whatever treatment plan we're going to do, we can monitor those markers to see that they're improving. So it's not just you saying you feel better. I also have laboratory and diagnostic testing validating your symptoms and progress. So I'm not going to say don't go to your doctor. I'm going to say, you know what, go to them, then come to me. Maybe I will have you order certain blood work with them so that when you come to me, we have a more comprehensive picture. It's important when you go to your doctor, the rheumatologist is not an autoimmune expert like I am, okay? It's important that you get copies of the blood work, you ask questions, you write down the answers. Most importantly, you can ask that doctor, if this was you or your daughter, what would you do? Would you take that? What are the possible side effects and interactions of this drug? And what are healthier alternative options? So I hope that helps you. But I would say this, a lot of the patients that find me have been suffering for years, going to all the doctors, going to all the specialists, asking a lot of the questions, asking to repeat tests, asking for more tests, and still don't have correct answers, aren't feeling better, are getting worse, maxed out on meds, and coming to me. So instead of wasting a few more years, it's okay if you want to go to the specialist, but then come to me as well. Um, Another question I got, same night out a couple days ago while I'm trying to relax, is a lady, shout out to you, I know you're probably watching, was in severe pain, weight gain, walking with crutches, not wanting more meds, wanting to go out like her much younger self, dancing again. That brought her great joy to smile and laugh, and wondering if that will ever happen and how. I will not guarantee my outcomes because it's based on your unique situation and what, if you're willing and coachable and willing to put in what needs to be done. But I would say this, I have gotten people walking again that the doctors gave up hope of them ever walking again. You know, I'm got myself walking again. I got my grandmother walking yet at 89 years old. So I can do it. I have done it multiple times. I will not guarantee it. But when someone has severe pain and severe weight gain, it's a vicious cycle, right? You're in too much pain, so you don't exercise, so you gain more weight. Then you're depressed, then you're looking for activity, so then you eat more. Then you have more weight on the joints. We have to break it down step by step, right? And figure out which came first, the chicken or the egg. Well, all right, you were exhausted, so you were looking for food, and that helped you gain weight. So let's address your fatigue first in this person's case. Because if I address your fatigue, then you'll have more energy to do more activities, even if it's non weight bearing, like swimming or exercising from the chair. So in this person's situation, I will address her fatigue first. Okay. Then I will also, once we have the fatigue controlled by attacking the underlying root cause, she'll have more energy. I'm going to show her how to eat better. She's going to start dropping the weight. And when she starts dropping the weight, that's a lot less pressure on all of those joints causing all that pain. So then she's going to have less pain to be able to do more. So I have a whole plan in my head. First, I had to give her hope, and she has to believe it's possible and take the action steps necessary. It is not an overnight success, it is over time. This is not a sprint, this is a marathon. So, yes, I know I can help you. I've helped, even before GLP-1s were around, I helped a patient lose well over 100 pounds before the GLP-1s. I am not bashing anyone that chooses them. I am not a big proponent of them for multiple reasons. And because I help my patients drop the weight without injectable synthetic drugs where ingredients come from China. Okay. It's like even if cars are made in the USA, a lot of times the car might be made in the USA, but those parts are foreign and we don't know what they contain. The GLP-1s, even if you think it's made at your compounding pharmacy, the ingredients, the main ingredients are coming from China. Okay. um, So I can help the Sjogren's, I can help the lupus patient, I can help the teenage daughter, I can help the older sons, I can help the people with exhaustion, pain, fatigue, brain fog, that they don't know what to do first and the meds are making them feel worse. I my 30 plus years as a licensed healthcare provider, diagnosing and treating, I have never ever not been able to help someone that was willing and coachable to get and feel better, while reducing and often eliminating their signs, symptoms, autoimmune flare-ups, and reliance on prescription drugs. What else can I say? I myself, not that long ago, a lot of you might not know my story. I am an autoimmune warrior myself. I suffered from multiple different autoimmune disorders. I was diagnosed with everything from eczema to Raynaud's to IBS to MS and full blown heart failure. Not that long ago, I was waking up exhausted after sleeping 16 hours. I was looking for another nap, a fifth energy cup of coffee or whatever. And you know what? I was short of breath walking one room to another. So, yes, it is possible for you. I don't want to say this to brag or boast. I want to inspire you and motivate you to know that it is possible. I had severe exhaustion, I had excruciating pain. I could barely move. And I was in full blown heart failure. And I want you to know I couldn't walk from one room to the next to the restroom without being short of breath and exhausted. But now, fast forward, I decided I had to do things differently because after being a nurse practitioner and an RN for over 30 years, all of the autoimmune patients I saw, there's over 100 different diagnoses. No matter which diagnoses they had or whichever doctor they went to, not the witch doctor, and whichever medications they were on, those patients, almost 99.9% of them, were still getting worse. And then they needed a higher dose and a higher dose and another med. And let's try another med like they were a guinea pig. And then they were getting side effects and needing more meds. And then some of them died. And you know what? I knew with my autoimmune, if I did what they did, I would get what they had. And I did not want that outcome. I knew to get a different outcome, I had to do things differently. I am not saying not to listen to your doctors and not to take the meds. I am saying for me, that route was not the answer because those people seemed to be getting worse and worse and worse, and some of them weren't even alive anymore. So I took the road less traveled. I did years of research, trial and error with myself. I saw what was working for others, what was working for me, what was working for a lot of my clients and patients. Fast forward now, I have not had a flare up in a really long time. For the most part, I have great energy, no more exhaustion, no more brain fog, and no more flare ups. I take absolutely no medications. But now that I was able to have more energy, less pain, be more active, drop the weight, it was a cycle, right? I have more energy, less pain. I can do more, get skinnier, be happier, do more activities that led to more happiness. And I'm on that cycle now, which I preferred more than Dr. Med Pharmacy, Dr. Med Pharmacy. And now I want to inspire and motivate you that I have replicated my proven measurable outcomes with literally thousands of patients and clients from around the world. And I don't have to say, try this, try that. You're not a guinea pig. I know what works. So I took the road less traveled because there was no one I knew that went from merely surviving to truly thriving without medications and autoimmune disorders. But now I've created that path for you, and I can have the roadmap and I can show you how I got to where I am. I wish when I was going through this, there was someone who had went from truly barely surviving to truly thriving and could tell me how to get there. Because you know what? You guys are all listening to people who have never been where you want to go. So how the hell are they going to tell you how to get there? Right? You guys ever stop and ask for directions and you realize you asked the one person that doesn't know how to get there? But they're still trying to tell you how to get there, right? And you guys might be reaching out to your friends, your family, your neighbors, your coworkers, and asking them opinions. But if they're not going through exactly what you're going through, They've never been to that end outcome that you want and taken that road. So they can't really tell you how to get there. So only ask directions from people who've been where you want to go. And unfortunately, there's too much information out there, too much misinformation, and too many coaches that aren't licensed healthcare professionals, experienced with creating proven measurable outcomes with many other people over decades and not just themselves. That you're going to listen to a coach that helped themselves once. I want to let you know what sets me apart is I am also an autoimmune warrior. I see it from the patient's end, but I also have 5 college degrees, 4 nursing and medical license, a national board certification, 30 years, over 3 decades as a licensed healthcare professional with experience in diagnosing and treating all of these autoimmune disorders and medical mysteries. So I encourage you to reach out. Now that's someone else. That was another question. Oh wait, you do medical mysteries? You sound like that House guy, right? Remember that show years ago where the Dr. House would have a team of people and there was strange cases no one could figure out and him and his team would. Well, I've been compared to the OG House several times, but it's not a team, it's me, okay? And yes, I can figure out medical mysteries. I've never in over 30 years had a case I could not figure out, get to the root cause. Even if they've been to all the doctors, all the specialists, had all the tests, and tried all the meds. That does take a lot of energy out. So I want you to know soon I'm going to stop seeing new clients. So please, if you've been like, oh my God, I've been meaning to reach out to you, it's on my to-do list, do it now because I'm just about at the limit of seeing new clients. And then I shut it off for a while because I want to have enough time and energy to truly give them everything that they need to expedite their journey to get them better and get them better quicker rather than waiting 6 months for a follow up. So, again, soon I'm going to cut off new private one on one consultations for a bit. So, if you've been meaning to do that, reach out ASAP. You can DM me right here where we are or go to worldwellnessexpert.com and book a consultation. There's a button like, hey, I'm ready, book me a consultation package. Or, hey, I got a couple questions about your packages and I need a quick phone call first. So it's definitely worldwellnessexpert.com. You can get to the link to book your consultation package there. It might also be worldwellnessexpert.com/private consultations, or that might be just the hey, book a phone call for a quick which package is best for me. Well, anyway, go to worldwellnessexpert.com, book a private one on one consultation. Soon the doors are going to open for the workshop. The workshop is general information to the masses. So if you're not already getting my emails, go to worldwellnessexpert.com. Drop your email to start getting my newsletters so you'll be the first to know when the doors open because there is a wait list now for the next live Reclaim Your Life super workshop. And then there will be a VIP option where you get to ask me your unique questions. That's where the magic happens. To expedite your journey, the quickest, the fastest way is private one on one consultations or the VIP access to the workshop. So, again, you're not sure which way to go, just go to worldwellnessexpert.com, submit your email. You'll be notified when the wait list opens for the workshop. If you're ready to really expedite this and you're sick of doctors and pain pills and popping and not having the quality of life you want your old life back, worldwellnessexpert.com, book a private consultation package. Get it now while you still can because soon I'm going to shut it off for a while. So that's all I think I want to say. I want to let you know that not that long ago, I was short of breath, one room to the next. But now I'm up to swimming a mile at a time. I just swam a mile yesterday. And you know what? That doesn't happen overnight. That is tiny, consistent habits adding up and giving yourself grace. When you don't feel good for a day, fine, take the day off. But other days, you have to push yourself. You know what? I didn't start swimming tons of laps. I said, you know what? Let me do a couple laps. Let me do a few laps. Let me do 10 laps. Then the next time, you know what? I'm not up for more. Let me still do 10 laps. You know what? I'm not feeling good today. Let me give myself grace and take a day off. I'm tired. And then I kept pushing myself each time to do a little more. And then I got up to 100 laps. And then I figured out how many laps in my pool equates to a mile. And I said, I'm going to do that. So then I've done that as well. So I want to let you know it's not about starting to exercise a mile. I had a client that couldn't exercise 4 minutes at a time. So we did 30 seconds. And then we built up to, a minute, 2 minutes, 3 minutes, 4 minutes. And now she's up to 30 minutes at a time on one of those little rebounder trampolines. So I give you calls to action that are within your lifestyle. I'm not going to say like a doctor does when you can't breathe, oh, you got to exercise 1 hour a day, 5 times a week. That's not even realistic. I am going to give you realistic, easily obtainable goals for your unique needs. So I hope this helps you. If you dropped a question and I didn't answer it, I think I answered all the questions that were submitted this week. If not here, in a private DM or an email. So again, in case you just hopped on, the best thing you can go do is go to worldwellnessexpert.com. On the pop-up, submit your email. You'll be amongst the first to get notified when we open the wait list for the workshop, okay? And then once you register for that, you'll be amongst the first to snag a VIP upgrade while you still can. I am definitely limiting the number of seats for the workshop, and especially the VIP workshop, because I want everyone in the VIP session to be able to ask a question and get answers after the general admission session of the workshop. So how that workshop's going to go, it's live, it's a super workshop, replays only available to the VIPs, dates to be announced. There will be general admission and there will be a VIP. The VIPs will get the general admission will get information. The VIPs will get a faster transformation. The VIPs are going to get a lot of empowering tools, the digital and printable workbook, the digital and printable biohacker tracker, the digital and printable self-assessment survey, a extra on Zoom access, on Zoom extra power hour to ask me your questions live in the group setting, to listen to other people's questions and answers because you probably have the same ones. And the VIPs are going to get this time and maybe never ever again a private brief consultation with me one-on-one. So I encourage you to go to worldwellnessexpert.com. On the pop-up email, submit your email to get notified of the next opening for the wait list. Then as soon as it opens, keep an eye out on your emails. When it opens, register ASAP. If you want a VIP seat, snag it ASAP. They're going to go. And if you really want to expedite your journey, like, hey, now, I can't wait a couple months to the workshop or whenever it is, then while you still can, before I close the doors, book a private consultation package. It includes everything that you need. We go over your signs, your symptoms, your allergies. I listen to you, your meds, the meds you've tried that didn't work, the meds you've tried, the meds you're on, supplements that you've tried, your gut health, what are you deficit in, all your abnormal tests, all your normal tests, your family history. We go over a treatment plan. We might have additional testing ordered for you. We go over a follow-up, to discuss additional testing and what to do next. And then you get a follow-up after the follow-up, as well as homework, things you can do in your busy lifestyle to move your needle forward. I'm not saying you got to go gluten-free. I'm saying there's lifestyle tweaks I can give you in your busy lifestyle that can really change the entire outcome. It's almost like this. Say, I don't know, your boat's sinking, right? And there's a boat specialist comes on board and you think it's like a $5,000 fix. And he's like, hey, you left the plug out and you just got to put the plug in, the boat will stop leaking. There might be a simple, quick tip that I give you that totally changes the outcome for you. So again, I'm not saying grow all organic and make a 6-course meal for 7 hours and all that. I'm saying I will individualize it to you, and that's the beauty of the private consults. So I have a few new clients this week, and again, like I said, I'm maxing out my time. So if you want one of those, reach out in a private DM or just schedule the private consultation package at worldwellnessexpert.com. I'm trying to think what the exact backlink is. Give me one quick second. I'm going to pull it up. Sometimes I hide the links, so only those who really want it, who search for it, can find it. Oh, okay. If you're ready for a private consultation package, before I close the doors for a while for that, worldwellnessexpert.com/our services. Okay. I'd say 99% of my clients that come to me, most of them don't even book a discovery call first. They just schedule that package and then they start getting all the instructions and the emails and the forms, the digital printer, and the schedule to book a convenient time for them for the consultations. So, again, if you're ready for that consultation package, worldwellnessexpert.com/our services. And I hope to see you soon. I gotta run. Be well, biohack, Olo. And most importantly, it's not the information that you have that changes the outcome, it's what you do with it that could change the transformation. So, information is information, transformation is transformation. If you're ready to take that information you have and create that transformation to expedite your journey, maybe you'd like to, instead of waking up exhausted in excruciating pain, looking to grab food so you can pop your pills, what if you were to wake up and stretch and not be in pain? And then have energy and be like, wow, what should I do today? And then want to hop on that scale because you know you're going to like the outcome, and want to look in that mirror and see, like, wow, I'm happy with my progress. I have energy. I don't need to run to eat to take pills. What should I do today that I have more energy, less pain? If you're ready for that, just go to worldwellnessexpert.com/our services, and I'd be glad to help you before I lock the doors. All right, be well, biohack Olo, and take the action step because knowledge is power, but only if you use it. And I hope to see you soon.
Finding the strength, finding the strength deep inside. Shane and Melissa takes us on this ride from suffering to a life so free. Her healing touch she'll set you free.